Somewhere today, someone woke up, checked their phone, saw the date, and thought, oh, it is my birthday. Then they put their phone down and went about their day like nothing happened. No cake, no party, no countdown, no big dinner, just another Tuesday that happens to have their name on the calendar. And if the people around them found out they were not celebrating, they would get the same confused look every time. Why are you not doing anything? You only turned this age once. But here's the thing. That person is not sad. They are not lonely. They are not pretending everything is fine while secretly hurting. They genuinely just do not feel the need to make a big deal out of it. And psychology has a very specific explanation for why. Most people assume that someone who ignores their birthday must be hiding pain. And sometimes that is true. But sometimes it is something else entirely. Research in psychology shows that not everyone processes personal milestones the same way. The date on your birth certificate triggering a need for celebration is not a universal human experience. It is learned. It is cultural. And for some people, that lesson never took hold. Or it took hold and then life slowly undid it. There are actually 3 completely different types of people who treat their birthday like a normal day. And each type reveals something fascinating about how their mind and heart developed. Before we get into it, drop a comment below. Do you celebrate your birthday, or do you let it pass like any other day? The first type is the hardest one to talk about. These are the people who used to care about their birthday. Maybe as a child they cared deeply. They counted down the days. They imagined the cake and the friends and the feeling of being the most important person in the room for one whole day. But something happened. Maybe the party was canceled. Maybe nobody showed up. Maybe the people who were supposed to remember forgot. And it happened not once, but enough times that their brain learned a quiet and painful lesson. Do not expect. Because when you expect and it does not happen, the hurt is unbearable. Psychologists call this learned helplessness. It is what happens when a person experiences repeated disappointment in a specific situation until their brain simply stops trying to expect anything good from it at all. It is a protective response. The brain is not broken. It is doing exactly what brains are supposed to do. It is protecting you from pain by removing the expectation that caused the pain in the first place. So the birthday passes quietly, not because they do not feel things deeply, but because they feel things so deeply that they had to build a wall around this one day to keep themselves safe. The second type has nothing to do with pain. These are the people who are simply so caught up in the pace of their life that their birthday arrives before they even had time to think about it. Work deadlines, family responsibilities, bills, projects. The ordinary weight of everyday life stacks up so completely that a specific date on the calendar stops carrying any special weight. Psychologists call this time blindness. It is what happens when the brain becomes so task-focused and so overloaded with present demands that it loses its natural sense of time passing. Days blur together, weeks disappear. And when someone points out that today is your birthday, your honest reaction is, already? That was fast. For this type of person, the birthday is not ignored out of sadness or philosophy. It is simply squeezed out by everything else that needs attention. They are not indifferent. They are just fully occupied. And in a world that demands more and more of our attention every single day, this type is becoming more and more common. The third type is the most psychologically interesting. These are the people who know it is their birthday. They remembered. They just do not feel any particular pull to do anything about it. Not because they are sad, not because they are too busy, but because they have developed something that psychology calls internal validation. They do not need an external event, a party, a cake, a pile of messages on their phone, to feel loved or valued or alive. They carry that feeling inside them every day, regardless of what the calendar says. This connects to what psychologists call self-determination theory, the idea that the deepest kind of well-being does not come from things that happen to you from the outside. It comes from a strong sense of who you are from the inside. People who have developed this kind of inner stability often find that the rituals society uses to measure love, birthdays, anniversaries, public celebrations, feel less necessary to them. Not because they do not value love, but because they have found a way to access it that does not depend on a specific date. They do not wait once a year to feel special. They have quietly learned to feel that every day is enough. And that is not emptiness. That is a rare kind of peace that most people spend their whole lives searching for. Here is what all three types have in common. Whether it is learned helplessness, time blindness, or emotional independence, every person who lets their birthday pass quietly is someone whose relationship with celebration was shaped by their specific life experience. Nobody is born not caring about their birthday. Something shaped that response. And understanding what shaped it is the beginning of understanding yourself at a much deeper level. Because the way you relate to your birthday is almost always the way you relate to feeling seen, valued, and celebrated in life as a whole. So if you are someone who lets their birthday pass without ceremony, here is what psychology actually says about you. You are not broken. You are not damaged. You are not secretly sad and refusing to admit it. You are someone whose emotional life has been shaped in a very specific way, and that shaping made you more self-contained, more internally anchored, and in many ways, more emotionally resilient than the people who fall apart when their birthday is not celebrated the way they imagined. The question is not whether you should celebrate or not. The question is, do you know which type you are? Because if you are type 1, you deserve to know that protecting yourself from disappointment was a wise and human response to real pain, and that you are allowed to slowly open that door again when you feel safe enough to do so. If you are type 2, you deserve to hear that pausing even for 5 minutes on your birthday to simply acknowledge that you made it another year is not weakness. It is a small act of self-respect. And if you are type 3, you deserve to know that what you have built inside yourself, that quiet, steady sense of your own worth, is something most people are desperately trying to find. If this video describes someone you know, share it with them. Sometimes the best birthday gift you can give someone is helping them understand themselves a little better. Subscribe to Psych for more psychology that actually makes sense in real life. And drop a comment below. Which type are you? Type 1, Type 2, or Type 3? Let us know. You are not too much. You are just wired differently.